progression we've seen from the consistency in these trios, the chemistry that they're clearly showing, and just the way they've approached Vondel Resurgence, very different than what we saw in week 1. Granted, some changes have certainly helped with that, but Reflections, it feels like we're getting kind of the purest form of all of our trios right now. While some still need to pick it up, it really feels like there's been a big change from that first week.
Big change indeed, not only in the pacing, frequency of fights, the games feel a little bit quicker, and I really do think it's because we banned out the community voted on banning out the signal. I think someone actually hit the wrong edge and ended up falling to their death. That is not a way you want to start, but it's Resurgence. She'll come back in. But yeah, banning of the signal 5 and then also having 1 sniper per team is forced engagements, and they are super fast. But not only that, we are seeing Team Space be more confident in their playability and breaking up. Case in point, Clutch, Destroy, Zlaner. They're all over the map currently. They're within the same grid, right? Same area, but they're playing different rooftop, playing different buildings, and that gives them an opportunity to pincer a team, pounce on a team, or ultimately just, you know, play their lives and get them back into play.
I ended up finding a little bit here.
Well, we are now halfway through our tournament today. Game 4 on your screen. So if you're just joining us, you've missed some high-octane action in the first couple of matches where really came down to the wire for a lot of our trios, and I think that is thanks to removing the Signal 50, which also an interesting caveat here is Reflections, like, we have only been on screen with maybe 1 sniper and Breadman today, compared to last week where it seemed like every high ground had a sniper in their pocket. It has been very even across the board. Everybody just focusing on the simple engagements rather than, you know, staying at range with a snipe.
Mortar strike onto Clutch Belt. That's surely going to force some players out. Destroy will fall. Clutch Belt on the rooftop up ahead. Maybe he picks up 1 or 2. Zlaner, though, has been moving and grooving on this low end. He's just trying to pick up as many plates as he possibly can. We switch over to our first place team, and that's Biffle, Shifty, Sage, who have been absolutely unreal when it comes to their consistency from game 1 to game 2 and now on to game number 4. Well, game 3 as well. You got to add that in. We had to get through game 3 to get to game 4, but they did win game 2 with the 25 kill game. They're looking to replicate that. This is their area space. This is where they land and they dominate.
Yeah, this is where they're going to put up maybe the most eliminations other than rotating into the high ground, using the altitude to pick players off as they start moving into the zone. You don't want to run into this trio if you're down on the streets. You want to avoid players like Biffle in these spots. And luckily for everybody else, they have not met their match to start. And I love this little picture-in-picture. Again, shout out to production for doing so much on the fly and helping this broadcast look the way it does. Biffle and company in first, Gorgonite again in second. Those are your leaderboards. Already 4 games in this 4th game. We'll see if things change.
Junior, he's been on our screen many times, and every time it seems like he's on a rooftop and just kind of, you know, dodging some players' bullets, but this time around he drops low, and he just wants to get as many plates as he can. He was fresh out, so now he's at least managed to get 2, and surprisingly, we'll go ahead and hand him over to his teammate so he could be fully kitted up with a 3-plate, but now he's currently out, so any shots that he takes, he's going to be in that much more trouble. As Biffle, or it should be Little J, excuse me, is going to come back into the fight. He'll be just behind. But Little J, I'm curious where he decides to go. And actually, he's going to end up falling. So now this is going to tip off Kens as well as Junior to try and stay up as long as possible.
We can hear somebody stomping around. And we're waiting for the pounce. Airstrike will just leave its mark, but do no damage.
Sky spawn PD as well.
And they're still hunting for this player that is around. So, again, whether or not the elimination is the most important thing at the moment, it's only 1 kill. But you never know when that thing can come back to haunt you. So, pulling your attention towards it, not the worst play of both your teammates kind of splitting out. Just worst case scenario, if you go down, you have a backup there. We'll just sit here for the moment.
That's it. Kind of stay put. Stay put. Now run. Run as quickly as you can. Swim to Little J. Get to your teammate. UAVs pop so they know where they're at. And they'll band together. Kens is on this roster. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Kens is a very talented player. One of our females competing today. She won a game last week. She's looking to do that once again this time around. And she's going to be scary for anybody that runs into her. I think Junior did spot somebody kind of flying in just up ahead. We switch over, though, to another roster here. Smixy and co, who have been playing very well, especially beginning game. Like I think, you know, during the start, the initial, as well as mid game, they've been on fire.
Yeah, no, they have cleaned up their early games. Last week, it seemed like they were just kind of getting caught in a lot of awkward gunfights with other trios. They were kind of pulling all of their attention to one squad and maybe losing a lot of the progression they would get in the mid game, and would force them to either overcommit on a team or just get caught out of position and then stuck when it came to rotating. However, this time around, they really cleaned up the early game. They've been much more efficient with their kills, getting in and out of dodge and picking up those eliminations, and then moving on to the next squad. So it's nice to see that the changes have happened. And you can hear the comms continue to call out as they see or find one more, and that UAV will certainly help locate this player.
Blanked is on the hunt slowly, methodically, trying to stay as quiet as possible. Looking for a jump up, but he doesn't need it. The jump up comes to him. He falls, attracted Smixy now. They'll be on the hunt themselves. Smixy, she's from a distance, which is going to be good anyways, especially if Attract decides to push up. I look for him on the map. Attract is... Oh, Smixy from the flank, though, has got to be careful. She backs away. Luckily, she's got the 2-plate and a precision airstrike onto the roof, so she can go and disengage, but she goes to run straight into an opponent. She falls. Attract also down. Squad eliminated. They placed 19th. We've lost 2 trios, but that is a shock to see Smixy's crew get eliminated so early on.
Yeah, that's a frustrating one too. It's oftentimes when you're playing like competitive, you say like, look, no dumb deaths, no opportunities where we just give things away. Not necessarily that was the situation there, but we just talk about how good their early game's been, how clean they've been getting it out of gunfights. A situation where maybe they overcommitted just a tad to getting into position to take a gunfight. Maybe the better opportunity was just to escape, play your life, and play for placement. However, in this opportunity, they get burned. They will get more games today, but in game 4, where everything is important and nothing's for free, they very much needed to stay alive longer than that. They will drop. We'll jump back over to a different POV. Is never mind. He will fall and over to Swiftify. Excuse me, Saltify, and we'll see whether or not this team can really put things together.
Yeah, they're chilling top.
I'd be able to. Solidify is a very talented player in his own right alongside Donkey and Huskerrs, and these guys were tearing it up in the early game space. We were kind of following along that storyline. At one point, it was kind of a story of, you know, it's everybody versus Huskerrs, but no doubt, they need to catch up. I mean, they really do, because they're not even within top 10 at the moment. Or are they within top 10? I look, and no, I don't think they... No, they're not. They dropped down. But after Game 1 and Game 2, they were definitely up there. So a lot of ground to cover. But here's your favorite sniper, right? Breadman. We saw him hit a snipe a little bit earlier before we switched perspectives. And he's looking to do it again. But now, it's sneaky time, right? Who is up ahead?
Yeah.
I think Solidify jumped out of position as well, so I don't know if there's going to be necessarily someone up here to challenge. Yes, there will. Great shot, Super Evan. That's going to be the drop that you don't want. Challenging Breadman's not going to go your way. Careful on the swing. These stairwells can be deadly. Yeah, it would be a perfect space for a Claymore, but we're going to keep asking for it just in case we get it. And all right, Breadman escapes, gets 1 elimination, and dips out.
Hit and run. Hit and run, you know, like, why not? I like Breadman. Been watching it for quite some time. I remember back in Warzone 1, he was my guy to watch with the Berthas. He was just running people over.
Oh, yeah.
Was he the worst driver or the best driver? I don't know. He's picking up eliminations, but he's running everybody over. So
depends on how you define driving, but that's up to you, you know?
That's right.
I mean, watching him play on the airport in Verdansk was chaos for everybody else. He would just stay alive in these little ratty spots and just make it a problem for everybody. Interesting spots here. Again, on his own, so good individually just to play through his movement. It's very tough to lock him down.
It is. It is. Mr. Bucket Hat himself. All right, so Doggy now, we go back to this perspective with Huskerrs and Solidify. They've managed to get a rooftop. I think the last time we watched them, they were down on ground level, and now they're going to go ahead and post up, and this is a great spot to just literally see everything. And with their aim, they can hit just about anybody. Solidify got to drop a little bit earlier, and Doggy, I believe, messes up the jump, but that's okay because Huskerrs managed to hit his. He's going to be the tip of the spear to push the team they're going after.
There was a kid on your level over here.
They might make this move now, and I don't hate it. Again, Huskerrs is the furthest one pushed up. You're going to give the angle for the moment to Solidify in the back. Your lead blockers move in. And it looks like we'll just clear through the stairwell. Nicely done to get everybody involved. Quick tags and cleanup. Solidify finds 1. That's Sean J who will drop. Back over to Joewo. in an interesting position to be in because we've seen a couple of teams fall very quickly in these spots, but he will escape, and I think his teammates are helping to pick up kills.
So you have Breadman, you've got, so Limax was finished off a little bit earlier when we saw that Huskerrs, that tip of the spear. He finished off Limax, and then Sean J fell right after that. So you've got at least, for sure, 3 trios in this area. You might have maybe 4 or a little bit more. This is a tightly contested area, and I want to say Huskerrs and Co. currently have the leg up with the way that they're playing, but Joewo's back in the mix, and he's getting scrappy, but the thing is, bullets, right? He's only down to 3 AR bullets, so now he's got to go to the SMG. We transfer over to Solidify, this fight that continued on. I believe the rest of Sean J's roster is still in this building, so they're going to try and hunt them down.
I mean, where do you go if you're her roster? Like, do you try to dip out and get caught crossing, or you stay where you're at and fight on the re-engagement regardless? Though low in ammo, it feels like a couple of teams now kind of stuck in position, right? Whether it's an ammo issue or just finding the last player who's keeping your hopes from conquering this rooftop alive. Certainly a push to the late game that's going to matter the most as they try to put more kills on the board. 4 eliminations for the moment. Saltify hunting for this last member. And they just can't find it.
We're still safe.
Not yet. Oh, Resurgence disabled space. No more I'm actually astounded. Resurgence just disabled, and we still have 18 trios. This is the most stacked competitive lobby we have seen out of all the games today, and even last week.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a slow game 4.
Very slow.
It feels like a lot of engagements. I mean, maybe it is relatively, as, again, more shots at range work out. We'll hold that thought for the moment. He gets ammo in the back, but it felt like, you know, Joewo engaging a trio, runs out of ammo. Other teams engaging a trio, that player peels off. Now you're stuck looking for numbers. It felt like a couple of times we should have seen more engagements happen more quickly, but things really came down to a crawl in this game 4. Still can't find the kill. How many bullets does he need to expend before he finally finds the elimination?
And we were just talking about him being out of AR ammo just a little bit earlier. He's about to run. Well, he's got a lot more this time around. His teammates were able to disseminate the AR bullets, but still, man, like, you're right. He was putting shots in just about everybody down low, and sometimes it's like that. You can output a ton of damage, and you're just not picking up elims. But this man, Breadman, with the sniper in hand, looking at the water. I like their spot. I like their positioning. They've got a good grasp of who's in front of them, but they also know teams are going to be in the water. And those teams in the water, if they don't surface, if they don't get the land, they're just going to be sitting ducks for Breadman sniper.
Yeah. Again, you're hoping maybe Breadman and company get third-partied, so their retention gets pulled away from the water, but I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to risk this investment to just get those free eliminations in the water. But okay.
Ooh.
You hear it? Water is insane. You get Breadman with the snipe. 2 on the board for him.
Oh!
Misses an easy one. It's always the easy ones that you can't hit.
It's because you flick.
Yeah.
You're waiting for them to move, right? So you flick and you know, trying to predict them, but they don't move. They're just oblivious. So yeah, you're right. Here we go. FIFA kill, right? We love watching him compete. Now pulling up a new teammate of Rios, which is going to be great. Still playing with Oki. That was his duo from last week, but picking up NA player Rios, who is a very talented player who competed in the World Series of Warzone. Didn't make it through, but still always one to keep a lookout for. And this is probably going to be FIFA Kill's best game we have seen yet.
I mean, you certainly want to see this trio succeed, and this is the best opportunity they've had so far today in Game 4, halfway through the tournament. 3 different winners. Game 1, Tommy. Game 2, Biffle. In Game 3 was Zlaner. Could FIFA Kill put his name to that list halfway through? 6 eliminations. Everybody's still up. Again, Resurgence is closed. Who you got unless you get to a buy station, but that's going to be very difficult as a POI. More players in the water for the moment. And you got nowhere to go if you're in the water. I mean, like, the zone's going to kill you, or Joewo will. One of the two.
That's right, or Joewo will, right? or whoever else is going to be Breadman, right, with the sniper. Like I said, they got water on lock. Absolutely on lock. So if you're out there, good luck. And that's a full trio space who's going to be trying to just stay alive as long as possible. Honestly, if I'm them, I'm hugging the edge of that water as long as I can so I can get the safe zone. But now you don't have a choice. They're going for the elims, and I'm all for this push. Like I said, they're sitting ducks. You're shooting fish in a barrel at this point, but maybe it's not as easy. Joewo taken down to a sliver of health. Limax as well. This trio putting up way more of a fight than I expected.
And Breadman was able to find one, so at least alleviated some of that pressure on the push. But again, more chaos in the opposite side as you got FIFA Kill and company trying to clean up stragglers as they rotate back into the play. Zone to their back. Numbers continue to fall. Zone will close. And with that, now you have to make your move here for Joewo and company. You relinquish the high ground, so you granted get 3 eliminations out of it. But is it enough? Is it enough to pay off the investment? That's the big question into the final play.
Now they're going to try and break away over towards the building so they can have a little bit more coverage. When you go to the edge of that zone like that, you risk being out in the open. Looks like some gas down Joewo, suspecting a player might be close. Transferring over to Breadman's perspective, down to just 5 trios. Breadman, a ton of damage. He falls. Self-revive is in hand. Can Joewo and Limax keep him up?
They might be finding FIFA Kill in the back. They'll get one. They're going to get the revive off thanks to the smoke. And they're trying to get positioning. They say, we can get bottom left. We can just play down and try to hold out for the last zone.
4 trios, 10 players left. Breadman, Limax staying together. They can team fire, better chances to win a fight, but they break onto the inside. There's going to be a couple of players in. 2 are going to fall. Was it 3 that fell space? Maybe it was. Yes, it was, because now we're down to 3. We transfer over to Oki, FIFA Kill, Rios, right? A new trio that is competing today, looking to have their best placement. FIFA Kill now onto the high ground. 3 trios remaining. A player up ahead. FIFA goes for the beams, can't get the finish.
Well, he got close enough to at least strip some of the plates. FIFA's just trying to get in a position to clean up this kill. The comms continue to light up and tell them exactly where these players are at, but they don't have the angle. Okay, from underneath. Great shots. 2 in a row. Finding the second. 1 more will fall, but it doesn't matter. The numbers are still up. They should have enough to close out this game.
They should. They definitely should. I think it's going to be a 2v2. There's 3 trios remaining. Well, actually, I guess that's bad maths. It might be a 2v1v1. I think that was 1 that they were able to find. That's Nartarsha. So yeah, it's going to be now a 2v1 situation. Make that a 1v1 from the high ground is going to be FIFA. He picks it up. You see the emotion. They're pumped up. 24 elims. We see it from Oki's perspective. FIFA coming from the backside, and now 24 eliminations. That is FIFA Kill's biggest game yet.
24 elims. We wondered if they were going to take home this victory in Game 4, add their name to the list. They do it. Again, Tommy, Biffle, Zlaner, 3 in a row, and then you get FIFA Kill added to that list as well. A huge bounce back from this trio, given the placements they had, the standings they were currently sitting in. This was a massive showing in Game 4. Halfway through, the opportune time for this trio to step up. They play through the high ground. They wait for Zlaner and company to move out. They wait for the opportunity for Joewo to start pushing towards the water side and start making those engagements happen. They hold on to their spots. They wait for the pushback, and they re-engage and do so appropriately. Nicely done by this trio.
Yeah, broke it down well, Space. Well done from FIFA Kill. That pumps me up. You know, everybody who knows Warzone knows FIFA Kill. He's one of the most accomplished players out there whenever it comes to Warzone earnings and just competitive history. And week 1, you know, can't lie, he was good, right? But he wasn't as good as I was expecting. And now, picking